When the boat was invented, so was the shipwreck. Just as shipwrecks are intrinsic to boats, flaws are intrinsic to any complex construction, like for example, the cloud. My name is Bill, and this is Clément.
Hi.
And we are cybersecurity experts at Bell Canada. You're currently watching a video that will describe a flaw in the cloud that hackers can exploit to gain initial access to your system. Device code phishing.
At Microsoft, they have a method of authentication designed for connected devices, starting with TVs, device code authentication. This authentication method identifies devices for which entering credentials is difficult, often because users don't have a keyboard for authentication. Instead, users only need to provide a code sent to their smartphone to connect.
Quite convenient, I admit, as it doesn't require double authentication or even an identifier. It's a perfect solution for a hacker to gain initial access.
Here is how an attacker can potentially use this to gain access to a user's account. First, the attacker generates a code from Azure services. This operation can be performed by an outsider and does not require any form of authentication. At this point, the attacker receives a device code to be entered on the device to be compromised or from the user account to be compromised. This must be done quickly, as the user code expires after 15 minutes. Secondly, the attacker sends a device code to the victim in a well-crafted phishing email, pretending to be Microsoft, and invite the victim to connect to a perfectly legitimate URL on a Microsoft domain, microsoft.com/device login. If the victim clicks on the link in the phishing email, they are redirected to a legitimate Microsoft authentication page and asked to enter the code. If the victim enters the 9-character code in the phishing email, the victory is near for the attackers. The attacker then receives 2 tokens. A first token, which lasts 45 minutes in order to connect the name of the user in question and impersonate him. And the second, which is valid for 3 months, in order to refresh or request a new valid connection token. This is a nice way for an attacker to persist.
So, not only does the attackers gain access to the victim's account, but they also secure ongoing access in the future. This type of attack is worth between $2,000 and $5,000 on the dark web. This authentication method is not a bug. It's necessary to make the cloud fully functional. However, it is exploitable. When the boat was invented, so was the shipwreck. What can you do to protect yourself then?
Your administrator must control the security settings of your accounts. If the default security settings are enabled, this method won't work for accessing Outlook or Teams. But if that's not the case, you must carefully manage this configuration. There are tools available for this. Also, the URL microsoft.com/device login can also be blocked to prevent users from being phished. And as usual, for individuals, be very cautious about the links you click on, especially in your email. If you haven't tried to access an application, be highly suspicious of such an email and don't click on it.
And that's it. We have recorded this video a couple of weeks ago with Clément, so if you do like this new format, please tell us in the comment. Otherwise, you can also subscribe to the YouTube channel Zero Day, and from there, see you soon.